Hi, I'm Brad with Feds Cranes. So we developed this online theory training series for one purpose: to assist maintenance personnel in completing the frequent inspections required under CSA B167, and to help both maintenance staff and operators identify potential safety issues before they become a hazard. This training forms the theory portion of CSA requirements, but remember, full certification requires hands-on training and testing. I am a certified trainer, and if you complete the practical training with me and pass the written test, you will be provided with a certificate of completion. So general operation requirements, right? CSA 9.1. Cranes and hoists must always be operated in accordance with the manufacturer's operating instructions, applicable OHS regulations, and relevant international standards such as ISO 9926-1. If a facility does not have the manufacturer's operating manual, it must obtain it. The facility must also provide written operating procedures available to all operators and support staff. Ensure operators are familiar with the manufacturer's instructions before use, and use internationally recognized hand signals where applicable, or properly documented site-specific signals, right? So ensure operators perform functional checks at the time of use, right? CSA 6.3. Operator qualifications, CSA Section 9.2 of B167. Operators must complete training and evaluation under Section 9.3 and OHS legislation. Operators must have records of training maintained by their employer, including expiry dates for retraining. Operators must be able to provide evidence of their training and qualifications upon request. Training is not optional, it's a requirement to operate a crane. So operator training, the goals under section 9.3.1.1, we need to ensure operators have the knowledge and experience to operate safely, follow manufacturer's instructions, and comply with the standards. So who's qualified to provide the training? Section 9.3.1.2 to 1.4 covers this for us, right? The training may be provided by a qualified third party or an in-house trainer. Trainers must complete a valid Train the Trainer program, keep certification current, and take refresher training themselves, right? Programs must match the specific equipment and site conditions. The training content, as outlined in section 9.3.1.5, must comprise of theory training, so classroom, online, or video-based, such as this program you've been watching. Practical hands-on training with load handling, supervised by a qualified instructor. The ratio not to exceed 12 students per instructor, right? That's the recommendation. The training must include evaluation and written records of results, right? So we need a test. Retraining, covered under section 9.3.1.6 through to 1.7. Full retraining is required every 3 years. If actively operating, an operator may complete a one-day refresher course at the 3-year mark. At least 6 years, they must complete the full course again, right? So this cycle repeats throughout their career. Welcome to Overhead Cranes. When technology changes, section 9.3.1.8, if cranes are upgraded or replaced, operators must be retrained on new technology. Training must match the equipment in use, right? It's very important to consult your manufacturer's manual, right? Not all cranes are the same. Different manufacturers have different specifications or requirements, even for maintenance, right? There's different grades of oil they want you to use, and different specification on certain parts intervals for inspections and so on, right? Different specifications for brakes and so on. So you got to keep up with industry, you got to keep up with trade, right? That's why it's important to be connected with an overhead crane company such as ourselves, right? We keep up with these things ongoingly and inform our customers if anything changes, so that your facility stays safe, right? It's also why it's important to have a relationship with your service provider and be consistent using the same service provider, right? When you're chopping and changing between service providers, you often lose this, right? And in the same breath, not every company offers this as a service, right? we do. I've been in the industry for many years, and I know it's needed. So if let me say it again, if cranes are upgraded or replaced, operators must be retrained on new technology. Training must match the equipment in use. In today's field, AI is becoming a norm, even within overhead cranes, right? PLCs, control pros, all these things are an ongoing upgrades in the industry, right? Many of you, even working on cranes, might have opened up a panel expecting to find contactors and relays, and you found perhaps a control pro or some sort of PLC and a couple relays and a few contactors, right? All your wiring is gone and everything's running through a little module now. This is the reality of cranes. You have to keep up with training. So theory training content per section 9.3.2, theory-based operator training must cover OHS legislation and crane operation requirements, types of cranes and hoists, key components, safety devices and terminology, operator functional checks at start and end of shift, load handling and rigging basics, international recognized hand signals, operator logbooks and record keeping, facility specific policies and safety rules, manufacturer specific information for the cranes in use, right? Operators must also be trained in out of service procedures and lockout tagout to ensure they know how to respond to unsafe conditions, right? Practical training and evaluation. Hands-on training must involve real operation of the crane under load with direct supervision from a qualified trainer. So that program needs to include control lifts, trolley and bridge movement, rigging checks and safe load handling, and documentation of the results, right? So that's something we would cover in our practical training, right? So what this does is it ensures operators are not only trained in theory, but also evaluated in practice before being certified. Some reference standards, which is found in Annexure 8 of CSA B167, Annexure H, yeah. CSA also points to international standards that support operator training, such as ISO 9926-1, which is general operator training, ASME B30 standards for overhead cranes, hoists, hooks, slings, below the hook devices and rigging hardware. So these standards reinforce the global best practices your training should align with. So some key takeaways here. Operators must be trained, evaluated and competent before using any crane or hoist. Training includes theory and hands-on practice with records kept and should be retrained every 3 years, right? Employees are responsible for maintaining written procedures and training records. Operators must perform functional checks at every shift and follow OHS, CSA and manufacturer instructions. Competent operators are the foundation of crane safety, right? So at Fenter Cranes, we developed this online theory course to support maintenance personnel in completing CSA B167 frequent inspections, and to help both maintenance staff and operators recognize potential safety issues. This theory training by itself does not replace full operator certification. However, because I am a certified trainer, if you complete the practical hands-on portion with me and pass the written test, you will receive a certificate of completion. So this ensures your training is complete, covering both CSA required theory and the evaluated practice needed for compliance and safe crane operation. And once again, all our training and information videos are available on our YouTube channel, Fenter Cranes. So follow us for more crane safety and maintenance insights, and as industry updates, we'll update and add to our videos. Thanks for joining me. Once again, my name is Brad Sliedrecht. I am the president of Fenter Cranes, and I've been a crane service technician since 1996. I'll see you in the next video.